As with many artists, Tom's personal life was a mess by the time he died at only age 54, from a combination of alcohol poisoning and Valium. And almost like a script from a bad Hollywood movie, there was an opportunistic mistress causing a scene over the estate. Kuski wrote, Tom was really no different than any great artist you read about in the history books. They were all tortured, driven by demons, and haunted by vices that often took them too young. Tom was sensitive. He was obsessed, and he had no choice in life but to paint. It was his lifeline and his destruction. Perhaps a certain suffering is necessary for any artist to be great. It's the question of what comes first, which might never be answered. Are you an artist because you suffer, or do you suffer because you're an artist? This is great writing, but I didn't get from studying Kinkade's life that his art caused his suffering. It seems rather that there were three big errors in his life that brought on all his troubles. Number one, the company going public. It was a strategic error because it took something that cannot be placed under the intense magnification of a quarterly earnings report, art, and forced it into an unnatural sales environment. This is what led to the financial pressure and the short-term thinking to sell at all cost and expense to the brand itself. Number two was he was too hands-off with his own company. They used his name, they used his art, they used his images, they used his lifeblood. And while he was busy in his cottage painting and producing the fuel that got consumed by this ever-growing fire, they tainted his image and ruined his name. His ostrich approach to conflict and problems was a major part of his downfall. And finally, alcoholism. Private demons are an all-consuming fire that should never be underestimated. But there are also a lot of positive applications we can take from his life. It's unheard of that an artist sells $4 billion worth of his art in such a short amount of time. There was a lot right with what went on. There was a lot right with the way Kinkade led his life. There was a lot right with the way he sought to make the world better through the gift that God had given him, and he returned the glory to that creator that had given him those talents. So let's go through. I think there's 10 or 11 things we can glean from his life that are very positive, and they apply to all of us in a lot of different ways. Whether you're running a business, whether you're working a career in middle of a corporation, whether you're a teacher in a public school, maybe you lead a congregation in a church, maybe you are a stressed out homeschool mom, and maybe you're all the above. I hope not all the above. But there are several things we can learn. Number one, and this often shows up when you study figures who have accomplished a lot in their lives. Early struggles and deprivations can foster the hunger necessary for high achievement. How often do we read about someone who achieves amazing things in their career, and we read this in the beginning? Well, they had awesome parents who were married for 196 years, loved each other, they had plenty of money. They didn't have to walk uphill to school both ways in the snow ever. It never snowed where they were. It was never very hot where they were. It was just a perfect temperature, as a matter of fact. I mean, you never hear about that. It always seems to be that some type of deprivation, some type of early struggle, some type of want, some situation that we would say shouldn't be, that in our own lives, as we choose to raise our children, we try not to have that ever happen in our children's lives. And yet, many cases, you go back and you find out that some of the greatest contributions mankind has ever given were done through people who came from a flawed start. I find that very inspirational. It doesn't have to denigrate the fact that if you did have great parents and a wonderful, loving home, it doesn't have to put that down, but it can tell you on the other side that if you didn't come from a perfect environment, it doesn't really matter so much where you start. As a matter of fact, it may even be an advantage if you think about it and use that hunger the right way. Amen? Number two. Somebody's happy about that. Mentors and the right training environment are important in the early years of the pursuit of mastery. No matter how much talent we're endowed with naturally, we do need to be developed. We do need to be trained. We do need to put in the hours. We do need a mentor. We do need honing of that raw talent into a refined skill. we do need to put in the hours. The story of the Beatles playing in Germany every single night for hour upon hour upon hour upon hour. So by the time they came to the United States, even though they were very young men and they were put on national TV on the Ed Sullivan Show, they weren't nervous in front of a crowd. Man, they could ham it up with the best of them. Better than the best of them. It's part of what launched them because they put in the time. Same thing with Kinkade. Painting from the moment he could as a young child, drawing and painting and selling his sketches of teachers and apprenticing at age 11, apprenticing at age 16, and then working in the movie industry and painting over 700 backdrops in a short amount of time allowed him to develop and fine-tune and hone in on exactly what made him special and help him really perfect and master his craft. Number 3, having a purpose and seeking meaning in what you do doesn't have to go against economics and making money. They don't have to be opposite directions. Where if you're going to pursue what you love, you get to leave money behind, and you better be prepared to be a starving artist. Or if you're going to go chase after money, don't ever expect to find any fulfillment there. You can put the two together, and many, many, many people have found ways to do that.